Code Ultimate has its core audience. You would almost have to say that it has a small cult following. But how good is it really, and how does it compare to the original Code? Tune in and I will let you know. Hey YouTube fragrance family, welcome to another Robes 08 fragrance review. Today I'm going to be putting my nose on the house of Armani and a flanker of their best-selling Armani Code. Almost every flanker to Armani Code has a small cult following. Case in point, the new Profumo, even Armani Sport that I own here has a cult following. So I can't wait to see the people that absolutely love Code Ultimate. Is it really true that it's better than Code? I'm going to put my nose on it. Code Ultimate hit the shelves in 2012. Bottle sizes are 1.7 ounce and the one you see here, the 2.5 ounce bottle. Concentration is eau de toilette intense. Flankers, of course, this is a flanker of the original Armani Code. Pricing online, you're looking at American around $70 to $90. The nose behind Code Ultimate is none other than Antoine Maisondieu. The nose behind, first and foremost, a couple Burberrys. Burberry Brit right here, Burberry London. So some of the best here from Burberry. And of course, the original Armani Code. So I like that they brought them back for this one. It's always nice to see the nose that constructed the original, especially a bestseller from the brand, and see what they can do with the flankers. So let's take a look at the notes for Code Ultimate. Let's see what I'm working with here. So the introduction, we have Star Anise, which is a new note from Armani Code, grapefruit, mandarin orange. In the mid, we have some florals here and we have some wood. So heliotrope, olive blossom, cedar, and cypress. In the base, we have vanilla, tonka bean, and gaiac wood. So there's going to be some sweetness in this fragrance. Major notes to this nose right here would have to be it's a tonka bean based fragrance. The vanilla supports it. The Star Anise is actually a really great addition to the introduction. I can't wait to talk about that. The cedar, of course, giving this fragrance some woody base, and the olive blossom, almost like a signature that Armani utilizes in some of their fragrances. Group, this is an oriental fragrance. My application of Ultimate is very simple and straightforward, a little more than I usually do. Of course, I hit myself in the chest once, one big hit, and then 3 on the neck. And when I do my 3, I do 1 on each side here, and then 1 in the back, boom. And then 2 on the arm. So I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt. I'm going to hit it right here. Even if it hits the shirt a little bit, I like that. It's fine. So though that is my application of Code Ultimate. Now let's delve into the scent. So I'm going to do a couple sprays here. That might have been too much. This atomizer does throw out a lot of juice. Man, that was a lot. So from first sniff, Code Ultimate brings me back to this bad boy right here. The bigger brother, the older brother, Code. Yeah, from first sniff, ultimately, pun intended, brings me back to the original Code, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Obviously, you want something different from a flanker sometimes, and other times you want a flanker to resemble the original. So for the people that do want to see something, maybe a stronger Code, you're in for a treat. This has that Ultimate Code DNA up front. It gives me that familiar citrus. The citrus is a little tweaked here. The citrus opening has a powdery tonka, so that it doesn't stray away from that. To start, let's take a look at the citruses. Now the citruses, Ultimate utilizes grapefruit and mandarin orange. Correct me if I'm wrong, but grapefruit is new to this one and was not in the original Code. So the citruses in Ultimate are very much more muted. I felt that Code, a lot of people felt like Code was an evening type scent, and it the whole thinking of this fragrance is that it's an evening and tuxedo type of scent, and it really is just more of a versatile scent. I love wearing it daily wear more than evening wear. So Ultimate kind of flipped the switch and actually made it what the original code was supposed to be. So the citruses actually have a longer tenure. It's much fresher than advertised would say. Talking about the original code, this one actually gives you a little bit of citrus and then in poof they go away. The mandarin shows itself more in the grapefruit in Ultimate. The major change in this opening, which is quite apparent, is the use of the star anise. It gets quickly compared to Lolita Lampica Au Masculin, which utilizes a wallop of it. Let's dispel that right away in this review. It is one note. It's primary in Au Masculin, and it's very much a secondary in Ultimate. It actually works very well with the code DNA, but I don't want to say that it's a primary note in this fragrance. It really. Now the star anise not only gives this opening much more depth than the original, but it also darkens the scent almost immediately. So it really is a welcome addition. It makes it darker right now. It almost stops the citruses right dead in its path, and it says, you're done here. Let the tonka and vanilla do their job. In code, there was no stopgap. It was very much a freshness throughout with, of course, the darker notes. So it made it a little more versatile as a scent. This really gives you that fresh opening and then goes boom, gone. It's dark. And that's when, of course, there's no secret here that the tonka bean is your primary note in Code Ultimate. It's not a fully rounded tonka bean note. What I mean by that is there's tons of facets in tonka bean. Fève Délicieuse by Christian Dior. Obviously, the big boy Tonka Imperial by Guerlain is probably the best tonka bean based fragrance I ever smelt. It gives you so many facets. However, not comparing this to a whole bunch of fragrances that are $150 or more, but it is very much just a tonka bean that is straightforward. It's typical designer, and it does the job. So it's a very well done tonka, I would say. Not one of the best in the game. The vanilla pairs with this tonka, gives the scent its sweetness that you're going to get. It has some sweetness to it, and it is throughout. The sweetness doesn't really go away. I would say the vanilla is pretty much the second in command in this scent. Now that I've talked about quite a bit of the introduction, now once this dries down on your skin, what do I get? The dry down. The scent changes to a sweet, woody, floral mid. The cedar is the primary wood in here. The heliotrope, which was actually not in the original code, and the olive blossom run throughout the fragrance. Olive blossom is a rather unique note in designer scents, and it can give off a rather earthy, peppery accord in its full-bodied aspect. However, in Code Ultimate, the olive blossom, you know what it gives it? It gives this fragrance a smooth, buttery accord with a splash of herbal touch, which gets Code Ultimate compared to DHI because it compares the DHI iris, that buttery smoothness that iris gives, among other notes that are actually comparable, vanilla, of course. So Code Ultimate does get compared to DHI quite a bit. It is the olive blossom giving it its buttery smoothness to the fragrance. And I like that. Iris does the same thing to fragrances. And this is a different way of doing it. So very unique, well done. I don't think, as far as comparables, the Iris does it better. It really is beautiful in DHI. So, however, this is second in command, I would say, for that. And it does a very, very good job. This buttery aspect runs through the scent, and it is very much an important part of Ultimate. Also wanted to acknowledge that Ultimate keeps the powdery aspect of the original code here from the tonka. Ultimate is more gourmand, more dense, and darker than Code. Code is a year-round scent in my personal opinion. This is more of an evening scent that people hoped that Code would have been in the first place. Now looking at recommended age, Code Ultimate is the whole spectrum, I think. Teenagers can wear this right up to your older gentlemen. Fragrances it's compared to, of course, you can't stray away from the original Armani code. Also, it is compared to, I would have to say, Midnight in Paris, the EDP version. I have this. This is obviously right now extremely cheap, discontinued a while back, but still very cheap online. $20-30. That is the EDP version, less citrus. However, what does this go against? Well, it's going to go against, of course, your Armani code, but it's also going to go against DHI, and it's also going to go against Play Intense. So these are the type of fragrances that this guy is going against. Best time to wear this fragrance would have to be casually. You can wear this for a date. It has that air of sexiness, of course, that tonka bean. Also, mostly evenings, seasons. This is earmarked for a lot of time for fall, winter, of course, spring nights, summer nights too. I really think this code lineup can be almost worn every season. You just have to pick your battles with it. Development, is it linear, average, or complex? I would have to say this is an average as far as development goes. It has some movement to it, so it is going to change a little bit on your skin. So especially if you're going to try this out at a Sephora or something like that, put it on your hand and go for a walk. Work appropriate, I'd put this more of an evening scent than work. Again, you can wear anything you want at work, but this one, I would say more of an evening scent. Signature scent worthy, it can be, but I wouldn't recommend it. Now let's get into my rating system. Projection, 6 bottles out of 10. If you're looking at this as the ultimate and you're thinking that you're going to get EDT intense pushing, I really didn't get a lot of push out of this fragrance. Yeah, code wasn't a huge push as far as projection and longevity goes. But this one, I almost put it on par, maybe a little better as far as projection and longevity, as you see from the scores here. So projection 6, more of a moderate to skin. And what it does is for almost half of the life of the fragrance, the first half, it's very moderate. You are going to smell you from a distance, and then it goes right down to a skin scent. Perfect for a date type scent. Longevity, 7 bottles out of 10. Again, it hits my V 7 to 9 hours, give or take. Sometimes it went a little south to that, so it really didn't do very well. Some wearings, it went to like almost at 5 hours, but sometimes it hit right up to 10. So that 7 to 9 hours most of the time is what I'm going to get. Compliment factor, 7 bottles out of 10. Again, this it didn't have that wow factor. That powderiness is still something that some people don't like that in fragrances, and you get that from code too. So 7 bottles out of 10. The compliment factor is okay on this one. Uniqueness, 4 bottles out of 10. This is where this score takes a little bit of a nosedive here. I really didn't think Ultimate had that uniqueness to it. Creativity went out the window a little bit. It was a little low on this one as far as what you're going to smell out of some more designer fragrances. As you can see, I almost had like 4 or 5 different fragrances that are doing the same thing, and most of them better than this. It really utilized it, piggybacked on code and just made it a little darker, which is a welcome addition to some people. Some other people think it's a redundant purchase. So it all depends on you. What are you looking for? That goes to pricing versus what you get. As you know, Armani prices are a little steep for what you get. So 6 bottles out of 10. Again, it's just because Armani thinks that their scents are worth that higher echelon pricing. And most of the time it's not. This one is worth it to certain people, and that is going to get a 6 out of 10. Versatility, 7 bottles out of 10. It loses some versatility from the original code. I think the original code is actually pretty versatile. It's decent for versatility, but less versatile than the original. Smell, 8 bottles out of 10. I can't deny it. It does smell very, very good. I enjoyed testing this one for the review. I will be utilizing this. I actually may wear this before I reach out code, especially in the cooler months. Code kind of let me down in the cooler months. I thought it was going to be something, and it wasn't. Ultimate actually gave me what I wanted in code. And that goes to overall score. Code Ultimate's going to get an 8 bottles out of 10. Very solid release from Armani. I think it's what code should have been. So 8 bottles out of 10. I still appreciate the original code, so that's why it had its score, but still a very solid flanker. Some people may believe that this is a redundant release, so you got to be careful if you own the original code. If you want something different, this may not be different enough. And that goes to buy, try, or pass. Code Ultimate has to be a try, especially if you own the original. And if you're disappointed in the original as far as longevity projection, this may not hit your craving as far as that. And maybe it will. I've heard it does better on some people's skin. But if you're looking for darker code, this is pretty much what you're going to get. It's right here in front of you. Code Ultimate is that darker code. Overall, Code Ultimate is pretty much built on the same carriage as Code. It offers the same quality to the user. The quality hasn't stepped down. It is the same type of quality. To the ones that felt they loved how Code was built, however, it was a little thin. This fragrance, Code Ultimate, gives density to the original Code DNA, thickens it up, darkens it up a little bit. It makes Ultimate less versatile. It's not groundbreaking, just a solid release from Armani. But so close to the original, it will steal sales from the original Code instead of supplementing sales to the original Code. People aren't going to pick up both bottles. They're going to go either one and they're going to choose their favorite. So to all my subscribers out there, thank you for watching my review on Armani Code Ultimate. And if you wish to see the presentation in depth right here, I will have that zoom in feature and I'll talk about the bottle and the presentation later on. So just stick around and remember, a great or poor fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one. Now looking at the box and the bottle. Box first, as you can see here, nothing too crazy as far as the writing. Eau de Toilette Intense, Armani, and then the name of the fragrance. There's no stamp of the brand here that they usually put. Tons of information in the back and some at the bottom here, your batch code, and that's it. Let's take a look at the bottle. Now the bottle itself has that old school Armani code, which it doesn't have like that little leather strip right here. It has like almost a metallic top here. It says Armani Code Ultimate at the bottom here, and almost a brownish look. You got the sticker at the bottom with the batch code. The cap itself, all plastic. There's no weight to it. And then your code atomizer actually sprays quite a bit of juice here. That is a lot of juice out of that atomizer. Actually pretty decent.